Yes. Are you all right there, John? Where's John? No, the other John. Where's the other John?
John?
Oh, John. I don't want you to miss out. You're one of my own, most enthusiastic customers, John. I need you here. I'm going to have to make a start. Right, now, ladies and gentlemen, I've got my finger here against the name of the Honourable Christopher Furness, and if I take my finger away, he was awarded the Victoria Cross. So he is a VC winner. Very, very succinctly, the story of the Honourable Christopher Furness VC was that he joined the Welsh Guards. He come from, shall we say, the gentry. He joined the Welsh Guards, but he had a problem. He couldn't help himself. He had a relationship with one of his fellow officers' wives. So his colonel turned round to him and said, "Oh, Christopher, what have you done? Look, you're going to have to resign your commission. It's no good. We can't have that sort of thing going on in the Welsh Guards." And so he resigned. Then the war broke out. "Christopher, we need you back." So he was back. So down at Arras on May the 21st, this was when Irving Rommel, when he's the corps that he was attached to was moving across France. Down there at Arras there was an attack. Fortunately, the Brits held the attack off. They slowed the Germans down. But nevertheless, 2 days later, on the 23rd of May, the Brits had to evacuate Arras, and the Honourable Christopher Furness was the commander of some of the vehicles that were providing the protection for the main convoy that was going out. Now, these vehicles were Bren carriers. What happened was these Bren carriers went into action against some Germans who thought they had pulled off the ideal ambush to stop the Brits getting away. But these Welsh Guardsmen put up such a fight during which he was killed fighting with a bayonet, that this convoy of vehicles were able to get through and rejoin the British up here, making their way towards Dunkirk. Now, for that he was awarded the Victoria Cross. His body has been lost, and so he is remembered here on the memorial to the missing. Now, if I now go up here, Coldstream Guardsman Major Angus McCorquodale. Now, he was the gentleman who was on the perimeter line with the 2nd Battalion Coldstream Guards. Jimmy Langley, remember this guy's name that I mentioned? Jimmy Langley was with him. Now, he was the guy who, when approached by an officer from the 5th Border Regiment who were next to them on the perimeter line, and the officer said to Angus McCorquodale, "To inform you, sir, that we are going to have to withdraw. We can't hold the line anymore." He turned round and said, "You will not withdraw. If any of your men pass that tree line over there, we will shoot them. Jimmy, get your rifle." And they started firing at these 5th Border Regiment lads. Now, this was within the rules, actually. They weren't doing anything wrong. I don't even know if they struck any of them, but you've got to be careful about it, because some documentaries get this wrong. So he is renowned for that. Now, the last that was seen of Angus McCorquodale was that he was seriously wounded by a mortar shell at the same time as Jimmy Langley was injured in his arm. He died of his wounds, and his men laid him out on the ground in his smart old First World War style uniform. He was only 33 years old. He never served in the First World War. In his smart First World War uniform, shining buttons, a gleaming Sam Brown belt, and it must be assumed that a kindly French person buried him. So it was thought. Now, please remember the name Major Angus McCorquodale. Very quickly, follow me. Follow that finger again. We're going round to here.
Keep up the ground.
Yes, we're going round to here. Yes. Now you'll all know that name. Everybody will know that name. That's Captain Lynn Allen. Now, Captain Lynn Allen is remembered on the memorial to the missing simply because there is no evidence to substantiate that he is buried round in that memorial park that we visited yesterday. So, and as there is no evidence, his name has to go on here. The other lads you saw in the cemetery, because there is evidence that they are buried there, they get a headstone buried near this spot. A word about this gentleman here, McCants JJ, served as McCenter. Is that McCenter?
McCenter.
McCenter JJ. Now, this is quite common. You see this quite commonly on these screen walls. It's quite simple to answer. This guy has got fed up with his wife and he's disappeared into the military system. He may have been somebody who was on the run from the police. Also, under some circumstances, you find that a lot of Jewish lads who wanted to serve changed their names from Cohen to Smith. This was quite a common practice. It is not unknown. One more to show you, and then I'm going to help the guys on the screen walls. Just come over here, please. Can you see T. Rogers? T. Rogers, Durham Light Infantry.
Yeah.
Now, that's Tommy Rogers. He was the young lad in the cemetery that I pointed out yesterday who had a headstone.
Yeah.
That he was granted, his family were granted it based upon the fact that they got testimony that he's buried in that cemetery somewhere. So here is where he is remembered. Now, the Charter of the Great War initially stated that if any missing person was found and they were given a headstone with their name on, their name was to be erased from the memorial. But when they started doing that, they began to realise, oh my goodness, look at the mess it's making of the memorial. So they've just left the names on there anyway now. Folks, give me a bit of time. Oh, no, seriously. I want all the pilgrims. Now we've got